Alrighty. Gotta. Oh, that's loud. Get a few things ready. Then we'll be good to go into these games here. Just a couple minutes. I gotta slow my scroll speed down. Oop. I'm messing things up. Now it's too quiet. Happy Tuesday, or Wednesday, or whatever day. Scroll speed 2 is that. Exit. UCA versus F2, the rematch. The rematch. Let's see. Boyd sent me the Rex. Let's get them downloaded. Download. Oh, I don't want to see the file size because then I'll know how long the games are. Download. Hello, Nemo New. All right. XXXX. Minimize. Oh, we're still on the wrong screen. All right. Hope you're doing well, Nemo New. We're about to get into these games. I believe Boyd actually casted these games live. So if you want to watch Boyd do it, I know he'll put them on the YouTubes. Phoenix Reborn. All right. Let's get to my downloads. Move them over here. Do that. Get my overlay ready. Change it to, oh, we got to get this off the screen. UCA. 0. 0. And chemo. And F fade 2. Oop. I'm having some troubles here. Oh, we got to get rid of this. Delete it. Yes. And we need to find a nice image to put on top of it. And we'll get into the games. Icons. What do we want? What do we want? What are we looking at here? I kind of like the Jarl. Jarl's pretty awesome looking. So we'll throw him in there. Because why not? Yeah, good enough. Okay. Should be able to hear me okay, right? Do. Yep. Yep. All right. I'm excited about this. Should be a fun series. Love team games. Phoenix Reborns. Hold on here. All right. We are good to go. Oh, this is going to be way too high. Is this it? Yep. 4:36. Wow, he woke up early. All right, everyone. Here we are back with Boyd's 3v3 Phoenix Reborn tournament. We're in the losers finals of this double elimination stage. F2, that's just the team we're looking at, the top right, versus UCA. The winner of this series goes to the grand finals to play against DOD, the Deities of Death. Nice name. I always did enjoy the Deities of Death name. But we've got this series to get through first. We've got the rematch, actually, because UCA already beat F2 in the double elimination stage, but now they're back here, UCA is, after losing to DOD. So I felt like F2 kind of underperformed in that first series. Took it to the chin a little bit harder than I thought that they would and probably should. So I think we'll see a closer series this time than because UCA beat F2 3-1, and a lot of those wins weren't even close. But I think this one will be a little different. I wouldn't be surprised to see F2 win. This map is Anatolia, which I'm guessing is... I don't know. I mean, I would assume that F2 would just pick Mediterranean for their home map because that's what they do. So this is probably UCA's map, but I'm not sure. But let's look at the players. Got F2 player is Hades. So it used to be on any game, any time, player would always play Zeus. And now he's switching to Hades. Kind of the modern opinion that Hades is better than Zeus in some of these 3v3 games. Agree or disagree? I'm not sure, but F2 Squash is Loki. Loki, as we've seen in these final stage games, especially in Anatolia, this Loki can win the game very easily, and we've seen that. And on the two other Anatolia games, we've seen that, and it'll probably happen again here. And a gold line is Ra. You know, this isn't... Is this the right game? I almost feel like this is like a rematch of... Raifeng, do you know for sure? Tell me I'm not... I almost think this was the same matchup, and they played the same map against Mechanics the first time. So this is like the same exact thing, basically. I'm almost sure of it. It's just last time Matrius was the Loki. And is he the Loki again? No, Poseidon? No, Mechanics is the Loki. So this time Mechanics is Loki, who is a Norse player by trade, with Domitas as Hades. Poseidon as Matrius. No, I thought last time it was Matrius that was the Loki. And Matrius got utterly punked by Green Sea Squash because F2 got fed. Maybe it was Mechanics, but I thought it was Matrius that was the Loki. But anyway, what do we got? What do we got here? I missed a few conversations. Hello, Worms. Nice to see you. Oh, you can join me next game, Raifeng. And hey, Regulate. Yes, I'm doing well. I hope you are doing well. I worked a couple long days the last 2 days, and now we're up for hopefully a couple hours of Age of Mythology at the end of the day. What more could you ask for? You couldn't. There's nothing more important in the world. So Raifeng is saying it was Mechanics versus Squash the last time, and Squash actually steamrolled him because he got some... Squash got kind of slung because we've seen time after time in these Anatolia games, if the Loki beats the Loki 1v1 on land, the Loki, whoever's team won that Loki matchup, just utterly demolishes everything. So we'll see if that happens again. If the Lokis go even, a lot can happen later on in the game. But if the Loki is an early steamroll, the 1v1, it's over fast. Last time Mechanics built pretty far forward, and that was not good. This time he's building a lot more defensively, which will give him a little bit more time to react to Squash, who Squash also very slow advance. Well, no, 456 isn't that slow. It was just this Loki advanced a lot quicker. There is a little difference where Squash is in the pocket and Mechanics is not. In the end, it doesn't matter a ton. It does mean that Mechanics gets a little bit quicker advance. They still get basically the same fish. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12 fish, 3, 6, 9, 12. So they're the same, basically. It's just a little bit quicker for Mechanics because he doesn't have to run all the way here. What it does mean, though, is that a raw player being on the pocket or the edge here might be able to fend off the Hades a little bit better. But overall, this will probably be a stalemate on this side of the water. We've got a Greek mirror up here. This will be a stalemate. The really big thing that matters early on is what happens between the two Loki players. That's the thing to watch for, because you have to assume this will stalemate. It's so hard to push an Egyptian. And then this will stalemate as well because Hades or Matrius and player are both high level, likely about the same, and probably will stalemate. But the Loki matchup is one where even with two good players, it's very easy. This poor dude. Very easy to start steamrolling. Oh wow, the Osberg Wagon caravans are cheaper and move faster. Ooh, that's a good relic. I do like to spy on the enemy Herseer to know where they're at. We can see got about same levels of Herseer, and Squash is going offensive. I think he's not maybe too afraid of where these guys are going to go. He has a relic. Walls are cheaper. Not bad. Space Monkey, good to have you. Cuddy thanks with the subscription. Nice, thank you. And Sigma says he hasn't seen them either. So cool. We've got a couple losers, finals, virgins here. Me being one of them. And see, right now Mechanics doesn't have a spy on these Herseer, so there's a chance they could kind of pop up and cause some issues. Like, ooh, I think you attack this armory, hopefully get it down before it gets built, maybe slow down the incoming heroic. Yep, he's gonna do that. We'll be able to pick off this villager. Oh, killing the houses is actually really big too. And yeah, now these guys really haven't done anything, and now this is a little bit of an advantage for a brief time for Squash. Takes a fight here. Oh, see, he is housed, I think, is Mechanics right now. Yeah? Well, he's at full pop, so he'd be housed anyway. What's this one? The Ankara. Now these guys, it's so hard to like trap Herseer with Herseer because they're the same. These guys might want to watch out though. These might get sandwiched if they choose to fight. These guys running a little bit behind. Get on this, and now all of a sudden Squash has the number advantage here because these guys are trying to build their armory. Do we have purse sign? We do. Do we have it here? We do. What about these other players? No purse sign. See, I'd say it's worth it to get purse sign right away. Matrius has it. The other ones don't. Healing Springs. Do have the spy on this. So, doesn't look like we're going to see a Loki steamroll this game. And, ooh, Squash grabbing an early town center. Also aging up Bragi, which is a little bit slower than Mechanics, who is now going to grab a town center, it looks like. So he sees, oh, Squash did it, so I have to follow suit. That's what the cool kid's doing. Grabs that. Grabs that. Very equal. What do you know? It's a stalemate over here. And big attack up here. Player might have the advantage here. He uses Restoration. And as the Poseidon player, Matrius does not have Restoration. Actually, Matrius had more boats than I thought. Oh yeah, big fight here. Looks like player is taking just maybe a little bit better trade, but doesn't have as many boats now. His defender's advantage. So the question is, do you get more value out of a Restoration there or a Ceasefire? Which is kind of the difference. That's kind of why you pick Poseidon here as opposed to Zeus or Hades. ceasefire. Can the ceasefire be better than the restoration? In this matchup, giving this map, I think yes. Earthseer versus Earthseer. You have one-man army here, or one-unit army. It's like such a literal mirror matchup. It's exactly the same. We have that Squash casting flaming weapons and a retreat by mechanics. See, this is dangerous because Squash will likely be able to take the fight here next to the town center and maybe kill the town center. So it depends. Does mechanics give up the town center and then come back with his own flaming weapons, or do we cast a ceasefire and that we get a ceasefire? Interesting little dynamic there. Because there's a world where mechanics can just flaming weapons after this is done and then win the fight and kill the town center. And then they still have ceasefire in their pocket. So in a way here they're saying, UCA is, they're saying we would rather have flaming weapons than a ceasefire moving forward with the game. And I'm trying to wall them off. Oh no, it's not quite there. Do they have any armory upgrades? Oh wow. Second line and copper weapons and second line. So they're thinking the same as you. Is that, yeah, we better get those armory upgrades. Got the raw player grabbing a town center. We're getting tier from both Lokis, like literally within like 12 seconds of each other. So this is going nowhere. That is also going nowhere. However, we have player with the advantage on the land here. Already grabbed a town center with his units in, and a little bit rough here to have all these units showing up. Well, that's because Matrius is aging up quicker, and player is just opting to stay in classical age. How excited am I for AOM Retold? Neutral. Because so far all the definitive edition launches have been kind of disappointing. But we'll see. Ooh. Oh yeah, just get the Hersier on the battle board. Hello, Magi. Matrius uses Curse. Such a weak curse, though, but forced to use it just to not lose all his units here. Big fight in the back. Mechanics doesn't really want to use flaming weapons here because Squash can just retreat. So what would really be the point? A little bit of some pathing issues by these guys heading out. There they go. And they're out. This town center stays up. We have Wolves coming first. Ooh, nice spawn here. Oh, this is not good for Matrius to get double spawned on while he's already on the defensive. Losing villagers. And see now, because he already used ceasefire, I don't know if Matrius will have a reasonable chance to get this. A little bit of a fight here. Nothing too much going on. Magi, well, welcome. So what we're watching here is there's still a competitive spy betrayed the other spy, yes, but there is still a competitive scene in this game, and this is the losers finals of a pretty big 3v3 tournament where the winner of this match goes to the grand finals. So these are your top level players currently, and we see the rain was cast to block the Fimble winner from mechanics. Very nice, very nice. Gives them a little more time, also because Gold Lion has quite a bit of fishing anyway. We have seen though that Gold Lion ultimately lost the water, but a few, oh, he's getting out microed here. Oh yeah, like 4 snakes, which don't cost much. You could kill all these boats and still fish. See, this is a big deal though. Losing the fish for Squash. It's pretty significant. If he can hold for long enough, he should be okay. Ooh, Gold Line was trying to grab that town center. And now we have Flaming Weapons along with Fimbulwinter. And a little bit premature, because these units are kind of in a position where they're not going to do much. Now, I don't like these unupgraded barracks units being made by Gold Lion. It's just basically cannon fodder. Don't like it. But there's a little bit of premature flaming weapons use here, where I don't know if he's going to get a ton of use out of it. Does push the villagers off the gold. But this unit, they can come right back on it. These have to defend. And then all these guys are kind of doing is just fighting a few units. And see, I don't know. There's really no need to use the stack flaming weapons and Fimbulwinter. And Domitas uses Earthquake. So they're doing kind of what we saw them do on the Alfheim match. Is that they're just trying to just absolutely obliterate Squash from the map, which they're doing a pretty decent job of it right now because they're off of water. Squash is. Now as his town center destroyed, has to rebuild it. The question is, can Gold Lion pick up the slack here? That's a nice one. I think that will help pick up the slack. Oh, yes, the winner of this series will play against Dodd. This is not the first confrontation. It may look like it because they played the same map in the first confrontation. This is the second confrontation. But yeah, these slingers, just such a pointless unit. I don't know what these guys are doing wandering into the the locust there. But I don't understand the slinger creation here. It kind of mind-boggling. Oh, this Chiron is actually pretty important here, keeping the units from hopping in. But like, what are the slingers going to do? And this is where Gold Lion has to hold this position for a time before. Oh, we got a restoration used to keep these units healthy. Oh, a fire giant spawn. Che the expert, the pharaoh of Gold Lion, is in a little bit out of position, and Gold Lion can lose this. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, he needs help, and so we've got player has to come over here and help out, which he can do because he's in a good spot against Matrius. But Gold Lion kind of has to defend long enough for our Loki player to get back into the game here, because he was slowed down quite a bit, lost water. We're gonna have another earthquake, probably on the Loki again. You almost do it here. Or here. They chose here. These double earthquakes early on in the Mythic Age is so strong. See, what's really screwed F2, and I kind of missed it, was Gold Lion losing the water. I think he kind of just decided to lose it and went to farms, which is okay for him, but it really hurts Squash. Really hurts Squash. So just giving up on the water the way I think he did isn't the right play here. Now, player has been trying to grab this town center, but hasn't been able to. And he also kind of gave up on the water because I don't think he got outplayed. He just stopped making boats, and Matrius won the water. And again, I think that's a mistake. You gotta keep water. Big fight here right under the town center. Herseers just clubbing away at each other. Now, Mechanics has the advantage, but there's a bit of a choke point here that he's not getting the advantage. Now pushing through. And this is looking a little worrisome all of a sudden for F2. And it's got to be just because they lost water on both sides, and kind of by choice, I think. But Slinger isn't a troll unit overall. In 3v3s, though, it is, because they're so slow. And also, especially in this situation, what in the world are you making a Slinger to kill? Like, what's the point? What? They don't kill anything. Player was, it looks like, fighting down here, but now he's Kind of losing this position. Is up Mythic with Earthquake. Oh, yeah, this might be GG. So last time F2 won this matchup. This time it looks like, barring something unusual happening, it looks like UCA is going to win, because this is the part where once the Loki starts, or the North starts getting beat up a bit, it's so hard to stop that bleeding. Unless Gold Lion can carry. I mean, I'm going to be honest, the weak link of F2 is Gold Lion. I don't think he's going to carry any games. If you're relying on Gold Lion to carry, you're probably going to lose. Nothing against Gold Lion, but he's not your carry. We had an Underworld used and then an Earthquake used right after. So Underworld in on this town center. Player uses Earthquake to kill it instantly, which now kind of makes these units a little bit out of position, but we just need to kill this. There we go. Give him the Sentinels. These villagers probably need to go back in at this point. They're just dying. Gotta go back in. This is where you probably just want a couple mercenaries from your raw player here. Well, Gold Lion's not going to carry. He doesn't even have fortified town centers yet. His trade route's too slow to get started. Losing water was not good. The raw here, I don't see carrying. But there is only just this one Helipolis, so it's not a big deal. The town center, though, should be shooting at all these almost dead Toxotes. Like, they're literally almost all of them are half or quarter health. But it's shooting at the Helipolis. Same thing, like all the Sentinel is shooting at the Helipolis, which, there we go. Now the Sentinel is shooting at it. Okay, he retagged it. Look, now all of a sudden all the Toxotes are dying, and now this is fine. But can Gold Lion hold? Spamming out mercenaries to defend this position. He is Mythic. Does not have the camel the camel upgrade yet. It's Egyptian 101. As soon as you reach Mythic, you research the technology that improves camel caravan speed. Also empower this with the priest. Squash still having a hard time gathering gold, and Matri is somehow able to grab this town center. What are we doing for economy upgrades? Decent economy upgrades. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Underworld passage by player. Gambling on being able to defend this position and attack elsewhere. Now, unfortunately, his Helipolis are pathing a little bit poorly. The Hippocon are standing here. Wow, this is a lot of them. Why did Stream Elements just tell me I'm streaming? Did my stream disconnect? And now we have the Helipolis coming without any upgrade. I think player forgot about these units. They've been sitting here for a while. Oh, there they go. Yep, got to send them down here. Uh-oh, Mechanics doesn't notice this. This is not good. How do you not notice this? I mean, you see that Underworld gets used. This is the one good thing, though, about... See, they still have their... There is room for a comeback here. Because you still have a tornado to kill another town center for Mechanics. But Gold Lion has to hold this position, and he's not. But this town center went down without him even noticing, and now we have tornado on this other town center. Kill a few buildings. Ooh, the Helipolis are pathing up to this town center. I guess they figure they might not be able to get enough advantage or anything value going up this way. So coming over here, we've got the villagers repelling them. Player grabbing a town center. Can Gold Lion hold this position? There's a lot of Helipolis here. But no units behind it. Oh, because everybody's going backwards. they're misplaying this a little bit. Because you got to keep the pressure up. Somebody has to keep the pressure up on this town center. You have to keep the pressure up on this town center. There was no reason for Domantas to come back with all of these units. Domantas should have stayed up here. I mean, he can defend with some units, but not send all of them back, because now they're completely losing any sort of momentum here. Now the question over here though is, can player hold this while he's focused on the bottom? And we've got a few siege towers here, but not too many. We do have Polyphemus whacking away, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them coming in. But we have a pretty well upgraded Hades town center. But this is big if he can hold this. We've got this Helipolus almost dead. We've got more villagers coming to repair. I think player will be able to hold this. He has this town center here, forced all of this come here, and oh, you've got this town center being regrabbed by mechanics. Gold Lion is way too slow to regrab this town center. This town center is finally getting shot down. We have a bunch of wasted mercenaries. And the wall is trying to come up here. Gold Lion is just pretty far behind where he should be. And the town center... What part of the country am I from? I'm from Illinois. Oh, come on, you gotta... There we go. Alright, you're scaring me. One thing, though, about going Earthquake, Artemis, as a Greek, is you really miss the Plenty Vault. And you also really miss Forge of Olympus to get all your military upgrades right away. Ooh, player is jumping back into this town center to try to defend this town center. Is the priest empowering the wrong market? Oh, he must have been. Good spot there. Now he's empowering the right one. And he does also finally have coinage. This will help Gold Lion immensely moving forward. Oh, will this town center stay up, though? Oh, he's out of resources. Repair. Oh, I think this town center is going to go down. Yeah, it's going to go down. So this was a big mistake by player, because he came back here to try to defend this town center. Not only does he lose this town center, but we also saw on the mini-map, he also lost this one as well. So by going greedy and trying to defend both, he lost both. And that's not good. Gold Lion also never grabbed this town center. He's grabbing this one instead. And what do you do here? Now, if you're F2, you probably tell Gold Lion to just be a jerk and build a wonder and try to win with a wonder. Because they're probably a little bit too far behind now. As it would take a pretty good late game from F2 to come back at this point. Because players behind on his 1v1, and Gold Lion and Squash are behind on their 2v2. So you kind of, yeah, I mean, you want to win, but kind of falling back to the Wanderers, a little bit cowardly, but it's a way to steal a win. So yeah, what do you do as F2 here? Start building Titans. Ryfang mentioned that it might have been better to save a Tornado for a Titan gate. And I don't disagree with that. Not really wrong. The question is, if they don't use Tornado in this town center, do they lose their front? And then it doesn't matter anyway. And if you kill the Titan gate, what are you really killing, especially in late game? Titans quite aren't what they used to be. Getting a Titan out in a team game probably nets you maybe a town center. So it would be a little better, I guess, if you can get that town center and keep it. But if player's in a bit of a tough spot here, because yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot behind this. I mean, now he's behind the town center. Has the score lead against Matrius, but behind in town center. Still has this underworld up. Still being really annoying back here. And oh, he's almost got this town center down again. That's big. What do we got? I thought I heard something else crashing. Oh, Gastrophides out against that town center. Wow. I can't believe they didn't kill this underworld in the back. Now it's dead up in the front. How many villagers do we still have back here? We actually have a decent number. So you always gotta kill. You gotta clear those back builds. They're always so annoying. Gonna get this town center down. Oh, one more shot. Yes, gets it with the last shot. You love to see it. Nope, gotta hide these vills. Hide these vills. You can't afford to lose them. Get them in. Get them in. Get them in. Get them in. Oh, this will probably be the end of the back build, but that's okay. This is getting... Yeah, I think you're right, Sigma. I do agree. It probably would have been better to save the tornado for a Titan gate. Alright, so Squash has kind of been out of the game for a while. Looks like he's coming back. Now Gold Lion was greedy and took 2 town centers. Which, if he can get a huge trade route going, is good for him, because then he can mass mercenaries from this one and also mass mercenaries from this one. And kind of go for the old 2-for-1. And oh, going for some catapults here. Always got to put walls down in front of your catapults, though. You can't just have them openly attacking like this. So this back build has done more than I thought it would. It's really, really slowing mechanics down. So in a way, players keeping 2 players busy, because mechanics has to defend this, and players also fighting Matrius. Now players losing against Matrius, so he's doing this on a gamble. He's gambling that him losing this side, but helping his buddies win the other side will be of more value. If Gold Lion could have walled this off properly and gotten that town center down, that would have been huge, but we... Oh, yeah, this is scary. But we got a lot of units turned into Ulsarks. It depends how many towers we can get built up here. Now, villagers do have a pretty insane attack bonus against towers. So this should be okay as long as these villagers start pounding away at the towers. And yeah, UCA kind of let this live too long. Didn't clear out these last few buildings or the underworld down here, and kind of bit them, because this really put mechanics behind and allowed F2 to stabilize on this front. And now this is where a late game raw player, Egyptian, gets pretty scary. The ability to just pump mercenaries from multiple town centers. Has a Titan gate, or a Titan. Don't know when the finals are. They should be this upcoming weekend. Don't say who's playing. So obviously that would be spoilers. And oh, now we have the Toxotes moving in here. Really nice play by Matrius here to get in on the trade route. This is the kind of damage that you don't really notice immediately, but you really start feeling the effects of this after a time when you realize that so many caravans have died. Now, Squash is here to clean up, but Matrius is in a scary spot against player who has resources, but he's sitting at 99 of 140 population. Oh. Nice little forward build. Got to keep this town center down, though. Get on it with these Ulsarks. Attack it, attack it, attack it, attack it, attack it. Attack the town center. Don't let it get up. This is big if he keeps this down, because he's got units here to do it. Oh, it's going to get back up. He could have, with just all these Ulsarks would have attacked the town center, it would have kept it down. So, unfortunate. But what killing this town center does do is it stopped the trade route for a good bit here. And we've got dueling titans coming down. We've got this titan out first. Has already lost a little bit of hit points. Got some really unupgraded axemen over here. Tower spam. So, yeah, so we've got Squash going for kind of the changing of the front, so to speak. He's attacking here. Got an unupgraded ram. Really, really bad unit. He's doing this hoping that this means player can stabilize and maybe push back. And also hoping that at this point, the Ra massing towers everywhere can defend 2 units or two players. Now, unfortunately, this Titan is going to die pretty quickly. Facing all these Hearse here. Asphalt Slush Bone. Magnus Blade Flicker. I love it. These names are just so awesome. Oh man, it's awesome. The best part of the game are the Hersier names. Just turn and fight. Just turn and fight. Yeah, you just turn and fight at this point. Yeah, Green Sea Squash is a player who really understands the game tactically. Against the Norse, your best value get is by switching front. If everybody's all walled up and got strong forward bases, well, you know what? You just don't attack there. Attack this. And then essentially by building here, this is a forward base now. And a really unprotected one. But facing off against the Poseidon, who has militia popping out of every single building that gets destroyed. So like in this case, you're cursed if you kill buildings. Like you just gotta go straight at the town center. A Wonder by Gold Lion. Kind of a bad spot for the Wonder. I would rather it be up here a little bit because this is... UCA can get a beachfront here. Mass some built ships and then just drop a bunch of Petrobolus and be okay. So would maybe like to have seen this a little bit elsewhere. The question is, does Domitas come over here and attack it? Boy, it's gonna lose so much hit points though with all these towers shooting at it. Oh, nice little build here by player too. These are so strong. The power of the Gastrophetes. Now we do have the Toxotes. Cleaning up some units here. Might just keep this town center up. 3 Toxotes shooting at these 3. Ooh, 180. Oh, this guy will save it. Come on. No. Oh man, that one getting within town center range. Oh, now this one is in too. If he would have just stayed here, it would have gone down. Yeah, the Pharaoh can empower the Wonder. It couldn't do it in the AOM Titans, or not Titans, in the AOM Vanilla. I'm not a fan of the Pharaoh being able to empower, but I don't know. It's, I guess, a benefit of Egyptian, but is it one too many late game benefits? So yeah, that Wonder's up, and as I said, this is a Wonder that it could win them the game. A game they maybe shouldn't win, but F2 was this Underworld. It's kind of flipped the game a little bit. The Underworld, the forward build here, which is now being dealt with slowly. But F2 is kind of stabilized by being aggressive, despite being behind. And that's a sign of a good team, when you can still be aggressive even though you're behind. And that's how you can catch up. These 2 lone portable rams are just pounding away. Villagers finally notice. Town center goes down. That probably is a trade town center again, maybe? This is allowing mechanics to get back. Now, is Gold Line even at full pop? Okay, he is. Well, look at all these resources he's got. Oh, the Titan is coming at the Wonder, but he doesn't have enough hit points at this point to kill it. It's going to die before he kills the Wonder. Oh, I like this. I like this. Putting the walls down. Players defended up here. Another Titan gate. Titan Gate. And another Titan Gate. So we've got 3 Titan Gates getting built currently. And Matreus can't really build his because of this forward base for right now, which is now finally dealt with. This town center goes down. Pefamoso, hello! Well, this game is getting interesting. So we've got... Oh, you guys can't see the wonder timer, can you? I've meant to do this, actually. We're going to move the scoreboard over here, because you guys cannot see the wonder timer. This is going to take a little bit, sorry. This is going to... All right. There we go. Now you guys should be able to see all the Titan Gates and the Wonder Timer, the 8-minute Wonder Timer. Now, the one kind of like strongest point of the Wonder is that it induces panic from the enemy team. Like, I see it time after time where one team builds a Wonder and the other team just loses their mind. F2 has time, or UCA has time to push through. Oh wow, we've also got a nice forward base here from Domitas, which further solidifies that UCA has room to push. They have time, 8.5 minutes to push through. They just can't lose their mind, because what happens is that a lot of times people see a Wonder and they just start like massing siege like back here and then just sending it all in one big wave, and of course it gets path blocked and dies, and then they do it again and it gets path blocked and dies, and then they lose and resign and say, I can't kill the Wonder. When if they would just like continue their attack normally, they would have a better chance. So it's nice to see that for right now UCA is still continuing their attack normally. Just push through, you've got time. But somebody should grab this town center. Get this town center down. And then look how close you are. Yeah, that's scary. There's a lot going on here. And this is where, too, you probably should transition into no Helipolis, because they're never going to reach the Wonder. It's just Gastrophetes and Petrobolus. You have room here, too, where 2 people can push this side, and the other person can push up through and attack, siege boat this down, and maybe come through this way. Matreus did lose his forward town center. Somehow. We kind of missed it. Probably a little bit of a Gastrophetes push. Okay, so Matreus, we do see this. Matreus is building over here, because there's also a tendency where like the one player on the opposite side of the map will just kind of continue to do his own little thing, and ultimately wins his side, but the team loses because the Wonder's still up. The downside, though, is like Matreus just can't completely give up on this side, because they kill the Wonder, but maybe lose on this side, and then... But I would say if you're killing the Wonder, you probably won the game anyway, because this side will be all dead. But we've got almost 6 minutes to push through. 1 screen, 2 screens. Can they push through 2 screens in 6 minutes? F2 has 2 Titans. This one's almost done. Ooh, player. How did he get down here? Did he have units down here this entire time? Oh, nice thought to get back here. The problem now is, though, is that if they, being UCA, ignores this, like, they could see them losing town centers here. But yes, there are 2 Titans to defend, which is going to buy them time, because these Titans are coming out sooner. Especially a lot sooner than this one, which is a bit precariously placed here. You almost... What he should have done, he being Matreus, because there's a danger now with 4.5 minutes left. This Titan might not even get up in time. Should have sent like 30 villagers up to build it here. There's no way it would die here. Should have sent 30 villagers up to build it here, and then it pops right out of the front. Well, I guess you can't, because there's a Titan. Whew, I don't know if they've got enough. Push is kind of stalemating. But nicely done by Gold Lion here. He's kind of anticipated the danger of the water push, so he's put all of these layers of walls. And yeah, with these two Titans here, with 4 minutes left, not sure we'll see the push that we need to. We now have the Petrobolus. Nobody is grabbing this town center. It would be nice if Domitas grabbed it, because then he could get, what, 6 more Petrobolus? Yeah. 6 more Petrobolus if he grabs that. They're within the screen, but the Titan here will kind of be annoying. But one Titan will cancel out the other Titan. Oh, does he just bypass? Oh, he should have just bypassed. Path block with this? Walk past. No, just walk past. I don't mind a wonder. Alright, now he's fighting. I would have liked to have seen it walk past. Battering down the Titan. Oh, the Rams taking her down. They do damage. Crush damage does quite a bit of damage. Will this Titan get up in time, though? Look how much HP this one won with. This is going to be close. The problem is, it's going to be... If this Titan gate would have been built up here, I think UCA wins the game for sure. But because it's built so far back, I don't know if it's going to get there in time to kill the kill the Wonder. This Titan's making it through here. Chopping down some buildings. We got... Oh man, I love this. Boo Wonder. No, I don't have a... This is fun. 2 minutes. Who's gonna win? Tell me. No, don't tell me, like, really. But who do you predict? I think F2's gonna lose. We just need to see more Petrobolus, though. We need to see more Petrobolus. Oh, he tried to get at the Wonder, but he got path blocked there. Boy, there's a lot of Ulsarks here, though. Where's the units? Like, this is what I mean, where sometimes you attack in ways you wouldn't normally attack, and all of a sudden there's masses of siege, but no units to kill units. And, oh, you guys are right. Because this Titan's not going to get there. This is what I said, is the Titan should have been built up here. Somebody should have grabbed this town center to get the population. And yeah, I think F2 wins. Yeah, 1:20. They had a scary push there, but then all the green Ulsarks came in, and there were no Ulsarks from purple to defend it, which, oh, this could be why. This could be why, because he doesn't have anything. Which, in a way, this is as good of damage as player could do. I mean, he's keeping them this is 40 population down. We have a shifting sands that's probably pointlessly used because it doesn't really matter. Player also got this town center down. Okay, all right. That turned very quickly. Wow, UCA was looking good, and all of a sudden, like right at like the 3-minute mark, 2.5-minute mark, it just all went. This side build that never got completely finished off resulted in all of this. They never grabbed this town center. The Titan gate that was built way too far back. If the Titan gate gets built here, completely different story. Gets built. I mean, still though, I guess you're you still got to worry about the other enemy Titan killing the Titan gate. So maybe he couldn't build it there. Maybe something like down here. I don't know. But GG, good game. In the end, F2 even took the score advantage, where it's almost to the point where maybe if they killed the Wonder, do they even win the game at this point? I don't know. But good game, 45 minutes. That was fun. A lot better economy there at the end. That's the trade route probably from Gold Lion. Yeah, gold totals. The trade is huge. Wow. Gold Lion's trade. It's a bit sickening. This goes into a little bit of patch or balance issues, but trading with an ally town center gives you more gold, which shouldn't exist. It's way too strong in team games because trade routes are better the longer they are anyway. So in a team game, trading with your teammate is better anyway because it's longer. But then it also gets the benefit of the extra gold, which is unfair. And not really unfair because everybody can get it, but it's just it's too much. And then on top of that, you can also empower it. All told is an issue, a balance issue. But this was well played by UCA early, but then they kind of scuffed it in the middle of the game, and then F2 kind of really did a lot better strategical playing there. And bye, Calais Rojas. Thank you. Raifeng, are you still here? You want to foreshadow. All right, we are going to share my screen. All right. Now you don't need to spoil. You don't need to foreshadow like you're some sort of like
Oh no, I don't
sage.
because
Like,
I trying to ask you certain stuff that you might not have otherwise prioritized.
All right, we're gonna go to main game 2 here. Can you see the game?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so was Anatolia F2's map then, or not?
I believe it was. Yeah, I think they probably because the first time around they dominated him on it, so F2 picked it again, and obviously it went in a complete different direction this time. Mechanics did a really good job at teching. I don't know if you cut it like Boyd Stream did, but the second he hit every age, he got the male tech armor upgrade, and then
did he right away?
Damage upgrade as well. So he was super far ahead on Squash on tech, which is partly what snowballed him. And then like you picked up the fish, staying on fish just helped him get those mythic techs that Squash couldn't afford when he got knocked off fish.
Well, forget about the Anatolia game. We're on Alfheim. We went from 1A to another.
I was peeved about the Wonder, though. There was a discussion in OB chat. I was not happy that the Wonder decided that game, and sure enough, you foreshadowed it like 8 minutes before the Wonder dropped that that's the only way F2 was going to win, and that's how they won.
Yeah, I mean, I don't... The issue with the Wonder is that
Did F2 at any point in that game have an advantage, or were they winning at any point besides the Wonder?
They were winning maybe at the end because UCA started just suiciding.
Because of the Wonder.
But because of the Wonder. Yeah, see, to me, that game wasn't a stalemate, so building the Wonder is maybe a bit cheap in a way. Because the reality is, in a lot of team games, early Wonders can determine the game prematurely because of the size of the map and the fact that a 10-minute Wonder and a 1v1, that's fine. If you can't kill a Wonder in 10 minutes, you might as well lose. But in a 3v3 with the size of the map being bigger and easier kind of to defend because you have so many, there's so many more units and stuff and pathing, the Wonder timer should be longer. Probably like 15
totally
minutes.
Agree.
15 minutes would be maybe too long, but it should be longer than 10 minutes. But it is what it is.
I was a little peeved for UCA because I felt like they outplayed them for the entirety of that game and then
Well,
lost with the wonder mechanic.
I don't know if they outplayed him in
Not
the
that F2
entirety.
didn't do like, I mean, they misplayed and stuff. I just don't think they were ever behind because they
Right.
outplayed them so much early. I
Right.
don't think UCA was ever behind in that game outside of the wonder mechanic. Is how I would describe things.
The thing though, Nick, is that UCA can't really do a wonder because Egyptian will build it faster because of the
That also
empowerment.
got mentioned in the OB chat, in that it's not like UCA could have done their own wonder to win the game if they tried to do their own wonder first. The
right.
Egyptian just drops their own wonder and empowers it with the Pharaoh, and then the Egyptians going to win the wonder race. So it's not like UCA even had the fair option of doing their own wonder counterplay ahead of time.
The one thing they could do is when they were so far ahead early in Mythic, build one before maybe Gold Line could even do it. But then everybody would just complain that, look at UCA, they're just being cheap. And, you know, it's kind of a lose-lose situation in a way. But they still had chances there. They lost. They scuffled a little bit. But,
backfield cleanup was very, very sloppy.
Yes, it was. If they cleaned that up, they maybe win anyway. But we're on the next game, and why we haven't even gone over the gods yet. We've got Squash with Poseidon. Probably not going Loki because last time he did Loki here, he got hammered. I don't think I gave F2 their win. I did not. Is the scoreboard annoying over here? I could put it like here, but let me know. Now it's gonna be all types of jacked up. Oh crap, I just really... Oh, whatever. Disregard. Sometimes I get distracted easily. Anyway, we've got Poseidon, Ra, Hades against Ra, Hades, Poseidon. They may be the same gods. Very similar gods here. No Uranus, which you can see in Uranus on this map. The Ra is kind of a definite. A Greek is a definite. The question is, do you replace a second Greek with an Uranus? I could see arguments for and against. We'll probably end up seeing a pretty defensive...
It was UCA's pick. Why do you think they picked this map?
Because they thought they would just do the same thing as last time, which would be Squash going Norse and not getting Hunt.
So they thought they'd get a aggressive Loki again out of F2 and could punish him like they did last time. It's the series. You predicted that the first game was a rematch. The second game is a rematch too, and that didn't hit me when I originally watched it. But the second game is a rematch of the same map.
And this is what kind of disappoints me, is that you can pick any map in the game
to get an advantage.
To get an advantage. Any map. I mean, a non-standard map, a dumb map, and come in with a good strategy and have an advantage. And what do? You come in with Alfheim, which doesn't give you an advantage. Unless the opponent is stupid and picks Norse again. Which they aren't. So now you're legit, your home map doesn't give you any advantage.
You're just playing a standard game where skill's gonna win.
Right. And are you better in skill? I don't know. Maybe. I think I will move the...
I do find it interesting that Squash ended up picking Poseidon, so we get a complete exact mirror, and now the only difference is going to be that you've got the Ra versus the Hades on the top side in close positions, and then you've got the Ra versus the Hades in the pocket in far positions. So which team would you rather be? Would you rather be UCA with the Ra close, or F2 with the Ra in the pocket?
I would rather have the Ra close, because the Ra in the pocket isn't going to be able to use mercenaries as well to play. Whereas your mechanics Ra, if he grabs this town center, which is a bit of a rough town center with the way this tree spawned, but if he gets this town center, then...
could wall that off and deny it pretty easily.
Right, yes, he could. Ooh, a little Minotaur aggression here.
Wait, what is Demontis' hunt doing up there? I guess mechanics must have said I'm not gonna hunt. I'm just gonna go straight farms because of the double raw, and
Yeah, this
Demontis
is a
is
way.
taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that's a long ways up there. And now we have our hero coming. Do
Are
we have?
Demontis' heroes coming? Because
Nope, he's got to run.
mechanics is not gonna be able to defend him.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to
He
run.
he was smart enough to send the minnow, but skipped out on the heroes, and players doing a
Yeah,
good job in knocking him off.
that's a little
That's a
bit of
lot of
just
idle
idle,
time.
right? A lot of idle walking time and stuff. Double
Gold
ring.
Lion also went 3 TCs versus Mechanics is 2. Gold Lion predicted that it would be a boom game. All 6 players went 2 TCs immediately. Nobody went 1 TC aggression, and Gold Lion's taking advantage of that fact and going 3 TCs here.
Yeah, the 3 TCs in a game where nobody's going to be aggressive, the 3 TCs is definitely better. Also, this mining camp here is just awful. This is very inefficient. Oh man, this is not good.
Reason you build the mining camp on the long side to begin with.
Yes, and don't cram this many on your small gold mine. They should be going to a secondary gold mine. Gold mine is a little bit of a slower range. That's because he has 3 town centers. So not a big deal. Do we have any good relics that players are getting? Last game we saw that trade relic, which I don't think anybody got. The Hades or Poseidon got building more crush damage. Oh, the Eye of Horus plus 2 town center population. That's nice. It's very nice. Myth units attack faster. Myth units cheaper. Villagers stronger. That's a good one. And then Buildings Line of Sight. A little bit underappreciated relic for that one. It's a good relic. Mechanics up Hathor. See, the only benefit you get from going to town center here is if you're able to do some sort of timing attack before the Ra can come and help out. But grabbing the back town center as mechanics here means the timing attack probably isn't going to come unless he does some sort of shifting of sands attack. But if you aren't up...
Player went up to 3 TCs. Is that the right call versus a Ra who just did an 830 Hurricane?
Yeah, as long as he walls this off. Because by the time the attacks come, Gold Lion should be able to start trickling in units to defend. So it'll put him on defensive. He should just wall this. But the 3 town center only works if you're able to wall off. Because if you start getting squads of raiding units getting in your back, it's kind of disaster. We've got the rock that's predictably just flying right at the front. You want to get him to move somewhere else. And yeah, we have mechanics going for this early aggression, but I just don't know if he's going to get any benefit from it.
Namontis has 0 map presence, which kind of has to be an fast underworld play from Namontis.
Probably.
He's completely in his base as the pocket.
Probably.
10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, you likely just see an underworld maybe. Because you've got the pressure here, you may be underworld here too.
A lot of raiding cav out for Matrius. Squash has some, but half as many. What are the tech situation between Matrius and Squash on villagers? Is one booming more than the other because of the lack of pressure?
Nope, they're about the same.
Oh, alright.
Just Squash a little bit more defensive. Losing some units. And yeah, here the camels are finally trying to get in. See, this is where, they get in, they can do some damage.
Get through the wall, though.
Right. And this is where now all of a sudden you've got the Ra player who was at 3 town centers is going to be able to pour units in.
TC Ra about to get a 4th TC for free.
Maybe. And you don't want to do that. Yeah, he's... Oh, Hephaestus. That's a weird one. A bad fight here for player. Unupgraded Hippocon against camels isn't what. But yeah, this is peculiar. I mean, I guess if you're doing a Colossus play, but there's a ceasefire to stop it. So it's a little bit of a... I mean, well, you're not going to do it anyway. It's Hades. So I don't know why you would do that. See, there's so much that you could do here in a team game, as with shifting sands and stuff and doing doubles. But it doesn't look like we're going to see any of this. And in a way, you almost maybe want to save shifting sands for like a Titan or something, or maybe a Wander later on. But we got a curse here to keep some pressure against the camels and a few. Don't run, just kill them. There's only 2 half dead. Why is he running? What's he got for eco upgrades? Could use a little bit more. Okay.
It's like mechanics pressure on the front too. The raw top players third TC.
Oh, yeah. It's where
Players haven't been making siege towers. They almost get too cute with the camel chariot archer raids.
You save the locust
pressure
for your siege towers.
Player, no army, just
no.
Did he have archery rages even made? I think as the Hades at this point, you need talks to go with your hips.
Oh, if you die, he could have cast that a little bit better. Decent locust could have been better, but yeah, this is scary. This is the kind of the downfall.
Just didn't have the army. Like he took that one bad trade early, and then I think you've got to have talks to back up your hips here against the camel pressure. Otherwise, the camels just destroy the unupgraded hips too easily.
Well, what happened here is grabbing the 3 town centers. He's not going to be able to keep up. But Gold Lion, what I said then is he'd be okay if Gold Lion comes and helps defend. Instead, Gold Lion went for the town center over here, which he's basically trading.
Could have taken that TC for free and used his army to help player defend, because his Gold Lion's army's not even doing anything at this point.
No, it's not.
Just sitting outside Demontis' base.
Right. So he could have just grabbed his town center and defended. And now we have a ceasefire because of there's an underworld use.
The underworld on player's back TC.
Yeah. There
Bit of an early underworld though, right?
I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's just gonna get a ceasefire anyway. So I would say the sooner you get the ceasefire out of the way, the better. Because if you wait a little bit longer, it's just gonna be ceased anyway. So you try to get it out early. But yeah, players in rough shape, and yeah, grabbing the town center is great, but doing nothing with your army so far, and now he's finally running back.
Yeah, almost 14 minutes. It's gonna be 14 minutes in before Gold Lion
even
takes
attacks anything.
With his army. Yeah.
Should have just.
And he built a few siege towers,
here.
but they were sitting by his TC and doing nothing at least a minute ago. I don't know where they even went.
Maybe he deleted.
They're probably in a rock somewhere, maybe. This Gold Lion of a rock somewhere, heading back, maybe.
Oh, that's such a low value locust. Oh man. So player losing a front town center, player losing the back town center.
Where is Mech during this? Because shouldn't Mech be there helping? Where's Mech's camel army?
He's over here. Got double restorations being used on everything. Tornado, yeah, you got a tornado this underworld, because that'll stop the bleeding. But get it down. Okay, he'll get it down. Yep, there we go. Town center down. Oh, here comes the rock with the 4 siege towers.
Just brought the siege towers back to do nothing though.
Right. So the underworld
with a really good hoplite timing caught Matrius off guard and is taking down Matrius' third. Yeah. It forces a ceasefire out of Matrius because he didn't have a counter to the hops.
Boy, that's not a good one though. That's not a good ceasefire. If I'm Matrius there, I would rather.
Matrius just hit Mythic, so Squash hit a much quicker Mythic timing too. So he had his Colossus and the Mythic Siege Hero out as well. So yeah, Matrius kind of needed a seize there.
Nope. See, you get more value with this town center going down than you do with saving this one. So the question is, does this
miss the timing? Obviously, you want mechanics to take that down, grab it, and then seize.
Well, I don't think you just use ceasefire at all. You just
sack Matrius' third.
Yeah, sack his forward for this base town center and then just be all out. I'm just defending. I'm just spamming buildings and defending on this side, and then you just assume that you're going to win this side faster. Which, well, maybe this is why, because then they can follow it up with a tornado and kill it anyway.
Not a huge fan of that tornado use. You've got the 4 towers there, plus Demontis' siege there that you just killed with your own tornado. I feel like he could have killed that TC completely fine with just his heat units and not wasted tornado.
Attack. Well, it's the gamble that they're not going to need tornado because they're so far ahead. Though, actually, the score line is pretty even.
Player losing vills here is huge because he's already down like half his vill count, and now there goes the last half of his remaining vills.
Yeah, this back build is so annoying.
UCA getting their revenge with the back build this game. Just buying time and forcing Gold Lion to focus on cleanup duty.
So, alright, this, with the tornado coming up behind it and killing this town center anyway.
What's players' vill count?
It's worth it. Players' vill count?
I feel like tornado on the last TC with vills there would have been much better value.
He's got 50.
Shocked it's even that high, to be honest.
Yeah, that is kind of amazing. Well, he's got some over here and he's got some here, so they've kind of spread around the map. Gold Line's got, does he have much of a trade route? Not really. Just a little bit. Gold Line all in on defending this back town center, and then he's also got to try to defend this. Can he defend this? Player is up at Feistus. This town center is going to fall. So we're going to see Matrius losing to Squash in the Poseidon mirror. Because this has almost just been a pure 1v1 on this side. And Matrius kind of getting hammered now. No earthquakes this game.
You don't expect Matrius to lose that hard in the mirror matchup, given his Poseidon experience. So that was probably a bit of a shock for UCA there.
Yeah. No earthquakes. No earthquakes at all. So you go from a game where we see a bunch of earthquakes to then a game where there's nobody going earthquake. And we've got this attempt to grab his town center. Mechanics, does he have he doesn't really have the economy to support this town center going up. That is if he gets it anyway. It looks like he will. On upgraded Prodromos don't do a whole lot.
Just so many units for mechanics though.
Yeah.
Player on 1 TC, even if he has the vills, you just can't make much.
Yeah,
army
as long as
1 TC.
And as long as mechanics doesn't start fighting battles that results in a ton of casualties, he can kind of stay at that 200 population and be fine. Gold Lion will probably be able to hold this position for well, no, he got a couple.
Interesting. Matrius sending Colossus over to help there while getting his face pounding in.
Well,
watch.
The problem for him is if this base doesn't get taken care of, Domintas won't be able to help Matrius. So Matrius is hoping they can clear this base, kind of
the timing's
stall
actually
here.
working out because Squash hasn't started his push onto
Right.
the
He only got 2 siege
yet
units.
either, so.
And now can he push through? You know, this is pretty good play actually from mechanics here, from a guy that maybe you don't hear of so much, especially not as playing Ra. Playing the Ra here pretty well. Gold Lion is a high scorer, but isn't really doing a whole lot.
What are the armory upgrade difference between Gold Lion and Demontis?
No.
Gold Lion.
Second line of everything.
Right.
Delmontis should be with Forge of Olympus. Yeah, he's got the first line.
So even though he's down pop, his units are going to be trading pretty nicely still.
So, alright. So, UCA is going to clear out this.
Demetrius doing work, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's Ra.
Ra without mummies and their weak priests that do no damage, so very wise unit comp decision here from UCA.
And that's going to then what's going to be able to happen, because Gold Line really has nothing behind this other than just this one Migdal pumping units. And so Domindash should be able to grab this town center and then come down here. And as long as they don't lose this side, they win the game. Because players get
Matrius is Poseidon, though that'll also help in holding and delaying Squash's push forward.
Yeah, I think Squash kind of realizes there's a bit of a timer, and he's just trying to go all in on it, but he's not going to be able to get it down.
The
Kind of
tower spam coming out.
Okay, he does have all the upgrades. Oh, he's got the Thundercloud Shawl. Gives the archers more damage, more armor. Yeah, time for a wonder. Does Goldline have the resources? The problem here, though, is that there's a Shifting Sands. And what properly done, a Shifting Sands, especially with no god powers to counteract
There
it.
is also an Egyptian on the other team this time around to counter Wonder potentially as well.
Right. But a Shifting Sands, even if you shift on top of the shift, if you just shift like 25 catapults, which he has the population for, the Wonder basically just gets pummeled before you can even attack all the catapults. So Wonder here isn't very scary. If you're UCA, you're not worried about another Wonder win. And there's a Shifting Sands. Okay, so Squash decides, yeah, I've reached as far as I can go over here. I'm just gonna shift here and try to save player. It's a good choice.
Not even a bad play per se, but player is just so far behind on tech, and the problem with Shifting Sands, unlike what Underworld is, it can't continually reinforce, so it's just a temporary power boost.
Mechanics used his shift, I think, to shift units away?
No, to bring Matrius's army over to match Squash's.
Oh. Alright, I'm stupid. There it is.
I don't love that because
No,
like I
you
just
keep
said,
it.
the Shifting Sands is temporary. It's like Squash's units are gonna get cleaned up by Matrius, or not by Squash's units are gonna be cleaned up by mechanics soon enough as it is. With
Now you build a Wonder.
Players lack of stuff.
Now you build a Wonder. Yeah, I don't like that counter shift because yeah, they're going to die eventually anyway.
It's not like it saved the TC. If it were like in a position to save the TC, maybe, but with 5 siege units, TC was going down no matter what. So I don't think Matrius getting shifted over to help clean it up any sooner was that big of a deal.
A bit of a lack of forward building too for mechanics. I mean, I know we got these buildings here. It would have been nice to have some more in on this position.
Like I said a minute ago, the player's just so far behind on tech that it's like...
Right. It's going to take him just so long to get into the game. Now Goldline kind of have to start worrying about this push. This is a slow move up the middle of the map by Domitas. So they have time to kind of try to solidify here, but it doesn't look like they're going to. Because there's just too much going on from mechanics. There's too much population. Though he's a little bit, not at full pop, and economy a little bit goofy, though he can just buy his food. Squash can attack again, but where do you attack if you're Squash?
What is Squash doing, to be honest? They don't have any god powers left to send his units anywhere, right? So why is he sitting around?
I don't know. The problem here is there's... Oh,
they do have an Underworld. Alright, I take that back. Player's got an Underworld.
I forgot that. Okay, the Underworld... What we popping right here. On the trade route. Can the Underworld turn the game around for F2? Because they need a magical Underworld. There's only 2 unupgraded Helipolis here.
This is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, this is good.
Matrius.
Yeah, to get on the town center.
Squash notices it though. That's heads up from Squash.
Yeah.
So many people would be so focused on the back build they wouldn't even notice Matrius.
Player needs to repair this though. He's got the villagers here. He needs to repair. Player, repair. Oh, he's not. Oh, he's too late.
Squash has half his army stuck here. If it goes down, then that's 3 of Squash's siege units that went through the Underworld. They're now stuck forward, so Squash doesn't have the same back pressure that he had.
That's big. Really well done by Matrius there. We probably could have seen a little bit better walling before using that Underworld, because you don't want to see that Underworld just go down. I mean, basically,
wasn't even
Matrius.
necessarily a terrible position or anything, though. Matrius just really made
Right,
a heads-up play.
It was a good play by Matrius, but
how did he even know it was there? I guess he just assumed since it was Squash's
yeah.
units coming through that it had to be somewhere around there.
Yeah. So he doesn't even have enough units to even grab this town center. So yeah, that's a big blow. Big blow. Oh, we got a little bit of Gold Lion being useful again. And all these villagers
what is
down.
Mech on pop-wise? Obviously, he's dealing with the back mechanics population.
153, 150.
So he's just popped from the back.
Yeah.
He going down.
Yeah, needs to grab this town center. ASAP. Oh, I like the little Petrobolus thing here. So you gotta upgrade him. There's some units here that when you're in Mythic Age, it's okay. There they are. You gotta get the upgrade before you make the units, because they're just so inefficient pop-wise. Yeah, do we see another wonder now? Because this game, UCA's losing their advantage again. Stepped out with an early lead, and they're losing it again. And mechanics, just, I don't know. The lack of forward building here. At this point, too, your chariots aren't the units you should be making. Because what beats you here is just siege. And so it doesn't really matter, say, your spearmen show up and have to fight a pacifist. You want spearmen to kill the Helipolis. You don't want chariots really anymore. Not in this situation. But yeah, player kind of really has no business being back to where he's at.
I don't know how he is where he is.
I wonder if he's got tributed by Gold Lion. 10,000 resources sent by Squash. You gotta assume that's all to him. So that's why player's a factor, is because Squash is so far ahead on his side that he sent 10,000 resources to player.
Side and tower spam. It's just so brutal because every time you take them down, they just get to kill your siege for free.
This is a good push here by Domitas, though. He knows what to do. You know, the common complaint is Egyptian mercenaries, but the towers absolutely destroy mercenary cavalry, as long as they're not shooting at buildings.
He's also got a nice mix of siege between the Colossus, the Helipoli, and the Gastrophetes. Like, there's not one way to counter his siege.
Tight gate. Alright, a little bit of a fight back here. Again, unexcusable that you don't have your upgrade for your siege at this point. The siege engineers is one of the best technologies in the game.
You know what % damage increase it is for the Egyptian siege?
It's either 20 or 25 for a catapult. Let's see. All right, plus 25%. That's huge, and plus 2 range, which is almost just as big. But yeah, here's the scary push right up the middle.
It's the Gastrophetes that are killing it.
Gastrophetes are good units.
Because it's hard for the mercs to focus them. It's not like there's just one big unit that the mercs can target. The Tox go in front of the Gastrophetes, so if the mercs come out, they kind of auto-attack the Tox.
Yep, gotta get on. Ooh, get back on the town center though. Come on, you can't let it get it up. You always need to kill the Pharaoh as well. But Gastrophetes do so much damage to the unbuilt town center. Or the partially built. But yeah, he's got to watch out here. This is scary because with just a little bit of not paying attention, the Pharaoh empowerment can push this town center up really fast. You got to kill the Pharaoh, which now he's out of position. So now you just go all in. Just get him.
Oh my.
Get Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady.
The Gastrophetes.
And yeah, the Gold Lion.
What's Gold Lion's pop like? Why does he not have a single non-priest military unit out to defend?
Because Gold Lion makes 1,000 caravans every game. Because Gold Lion is a player that succeeds only because you can mass mercenaries in a team game. And mass cavalry, or mass camels would be okay. And this is why I've never been up, I don't know, like, I've never been impressed with Gold Lion, because to me, his skill isn't, it's not based on skill. Like, his success in a game isn't really based on skill. It's just the fact that trade in team games is broken. And by just making tons of caravans as an Egyptian player in a team game, you can be competitive when you shouldn't be.
Put the balance patch remove the team trade bonus? Was it codable to
It's
do
not
that change?
Not as far as we were ever able to determine.
So it wasn't left in because of a bit balanced decision. It was left in because it wasn't feasible to remove.
Correct. Which, would it have been changed? I don't know, but I am not a fan of the team trade bonus.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody speak of it positively, so I think we know how that would go if it were removable.
That's just what we said. It's hard coded in. There, as far as I know, what we have access to in the original AOM is we can't change it. Yes, I do think trade mechanics should be changed. My issue is not even with trading, but with the way the map is. Gold mines are basically, once team makes Mythic Age in team games, gold mines are useless. And it shouldn't be that way. It's why I really like Frozen Wastes, because it's about the only team map where you can't trade your way to a victory because trading is so bad. But yes, that's my opinion on it. It should be changed. The team bonus should be removed. It's not good. It's way too strong.
Game has gotten drawn out like last game, which gets a little concerning for UCA because
there's always the wonder or win potential. But yeah, these Gashafides are doing some work. Very, very good unit. It's just the mobility. And also, one thing that you don't realize is that, maybe sometimes, is that they were given a slight speed bonus in the Voobly Balance patch, 5%. Which doesn't seem like a ton, and it's not a ton, but every little bit of speed helps, because if your unit isn't attacking, isn't in the position where it needs to attack, then it's basically useless. Oh, does this come up? Oh, it was so close. That would have been
9%.
big. Because
although I think the Titan still would have killed it before the other Titan, but it would have allowed him to get 20 pop of additional siege out to help kill.
And it would have taken him so long, yes.
Well, he's not going to do anything in this other time, so...
No,
other than kill like a tower or two, so it's not that huge of a change.
But yeah,
20 pop bonus would have been the big thing.
Still too many chariots here. The chariots... No. It's okay to have a few, because there's always some units you got to kill that are important. But if you're going to make chariots here, you have to have the micro to have them attack the Hippaspis. The chariots attacking the Helipolis is just so inefficient in terms of population. And that in this situation, once we get to this point in the game, all that matters is how you use your population. And now that there's no siege, the chariots are good. It's just, if there's Helipolis out, you don't want your chariots shooting at them. We're missing a little Titan on Titan duel here. The Ra Titan is getting spanked.
No Titan from player though, right? So
he can.
UCA is going to have the Titan advantage.
Yeah.
Which will finish player.
Right, it will.
You're already down 5 DCs to 1, and then there's a Titan coming. There's no holding that.
Gold Lion trying to power the town center, but can't quite get it. Tom Brady the 5th doesn't quite get the empowerment in. And we've got a Titan over here. What's been going on down here? We haven't paid any attention. We got the granary militia spam.
Great militia wars.
So yeah, this has just been a stalemate.
As somebody who played against Poseidon in like a 45-minute team game in this tournament, I can just say it is painful.
Yeah. But it looks like finally time is ticking for F2 here. And I don't know if they're really even in the position where they could even make a panic wonder and win.
Ever since that first timing attack from mechanics, it's kind of just been the thing that decided the game above anything else that's gone
Yeah.
on.
And it was
Players
just
been playing so massively behind all game.
Right.
It's just kind of a ticking time bomb until he eventually concedes.
and it just didn't need to be that powerful.
Gold Lion had set his army that was
Yes.
sitting around doing nothing
Yes.
for the first 12 minutes of the game to just help player deal with that initial camel pressure. Would have been an easy hold, and then players 3TC eco would have kicked in.
Right. Yes. And that's what is really kind of amazing sometimes in these games where so many things happen, but a lot of times you can point to like just one thing that just obviously changed the way the game went, and that was Gold Lion going forward. And there's the resigns. No even attempt at a wonder. And UCA wins on Alfheim, so we had each team winning their home map. If you're gonna blame a player here, you blame Gold Lion for not defending player, or do you blame player for grabbing 3 town
I think it's
centers?
both. Player went super greedy. Like I said, all he had was the 2 stables out. 2 stables is not gonna stop a raw 2TC push. So part of that is on player because he was completely unprepared militarily. But at the same time, Gold Lion, I like the 3TC from Gold Lion. I liked him taking the 4TC for free. But once he had that 4TC position secured and it was clear DeMontis wasn't making any military and was going to play for the Underworld play, he needed to send his military over as soon as player's 3rd TC was under attack to help player stabilize, and he just didn't.
I think maybe what player didn't anticipate is in a 1v1, you can get away with the 3 town center versus 2 town center if you wall up and stuff, but he maybe did not properly count for the double rain, which further puts the Ra ahead.
That's a really good point.
And
the team game mechanics of little boosts or little dings
Right.
against you that can just completely shift what would normally be a balanced 1-versus-1 matchup. Can
Right.
change
because then
drastically with a little help.
there's so many more camels that come out so early because of the double rain that, yeah, player gets a little bit extra food from it because he's able to make some farms, but not nearly as many as the Ra, so he kind of takes the losing end of that exchange there.
You'd love to know what the stats, like if you looked at a Raw build for 2TC build in a 1-versus-1, what their food eco at like 10 minutes would be versus in a team game with the second rain, and how much that difference in extra bonus food obviously contributes to the strength of the push.
This reliance
That's
on
over eco.
caravans, but he does this every game. This over reliance on trade caravans and mercenaries. It's just it actually keeps him from being a better player.
Did not have a single non-priest unit defending other than mercs against the push from DeMontis. It was 3 TCs to 3 TCs, and
140 of his population.
Did not have a single military unit out.
When he has 3 town centers, 140 of his population is in civilian units. But the problem is that you can play that way and still be competitive.
The other 20 was in priest.
Yes. But yeah, the problem is you can play that way and compete. And so it kind of creates that illusion of, well, this isn't the wrong play because I'm still winning, when it actually is. And in a way, by playing like that, you're kind of keeping yourself from getting better because it's artificial increase to your play. Because you're not really winning because you're playing well. You're winning because trade is just broken in team games.
Still also shocked at how much Matrius was able to just completely stonewall the 4 TC and
Yeah.
get it just
Well,
squashed. Like he made zero progress despite being up 2 TCs for like 20 minutes. It's just I guess the strength of Poseidon.
Game 3. So now we're getting to the preset maps, and this is Savannah. I would have liked to have seen some little bit maybe of a crazier map, but maybe those come later on. I'm not sure. So we've got Savannah, which is now a wide open land map, plays completely differently than your Alfheim, and which is why we've seen some different gods. We have the first sighting of Atlantean. Gold Lion has switched to Atlantean. Eranos squashes back to Loki, and player is Zeus. On the bottom, we've got Matrius as Eranos. We've got Mechanics as Loki, so both pockets are Loki. And then we've got Hades for Domantas, or Domantas. So, almost the same, just a Hades instead of a Zeus. I would rather have the Zeus, because Centaur. That's what I
So
say.
we've got almost a mirror matchup except for the Zeus versus Hades factor, and then positions are slightly off. We've got both Loki's pocketed, but you've got the Atlantean going into the Greek and the Atlantean going into the Greek.
I like the Atlantean going into the Hades because the Hades has, I mean, you can make Hippocon as the Hades here, but it's, you're really not getting any sort of, Civ bonus from that. And you can't make Toxotes because they get pummeled by Terma.
You've got no mobility as the Hades,
Right.
which is why it's kind of interesting that they even went with the Hades on this open map to begin with, because the Hades, it's just frustrating to play as the Hades because you can't attack anything. If you try to attack the Eranos, it just runs away. If you try to attack the Loki, it just runs away, and there's literally nothing you can do until you hit Heroic and can use Underworld to, like, force a fight.
Well, Domantas' issue, not really an issue, is I don't know if he really even plays Zeus, though. I mean, you would think Zeus plays similarly enough to Hades that you could do it.
Have you seen him play early aggression? Because what he's known for is he's great at booming 2 TC as Greek, but I haven't really, or don't recall him playing too much gameplay style outside of that.
Yeah, not really. So I mean, you do what you're best at, and sometimes, unfortunately, you're handed a map and maybe a matchup that your best isn't really the best for the situation. So yeah, I like player here. This is a very generous Savannah, starting with 2 rhinos in your base and then a pretty large giraffe pack. And then there's a smaller secondary giraffe pack. The question is, where is Squash's giraffe pack? Oh, in the back. That's perfect for him, because now he doesn't even have to worry about going forward and getting herseared on his hunt. Where is the Eranos giraffe pack? We got the small one there. Oh, here it is, right here. The Hades almost needs to have his large pack back. It's not, is it? Where is the Hades large pack? Is it here? Ooh.
Take Fog of War off and look.
Well, I don't like doing that. I like seeing it. But yeah, this is not good for the
Where's
Hades.
Mechanics this?
Here. So that's pretty big, because your Loki hunting maybe here is pretty risky. Yeah, this is Mechanics, and the difference
That's
between
a pretty big difference
It
between
is.
his positioning and Squash's positioning.
Yes, it is. It could be game changing. Really. It is something where the variability of the map's cool. We like randomness in Age of Mythology, but the reality is, in a situation in a matchup like this, the hunt pack being back for Squash versus Mechanics being far forward is a huge advantage for F2. Huge advantage. Also, it is very unfortunate. I mean, not really unfortunate, but it is that Domentas's hunt is forward, because against an Uranos, he's not going to be able to hold that either. So he's got to go to the back to these small hunt packs, and similarly, so too does Mechanics have to go back to the small hunt pack. And so what you're going to see, as long as Squash doesn't just suicide Hersier right away.
The eco difference of the walk time of Mechanics having to go from that backpack to the forward pack is just so much lost eco compared to Squash, who's going to be on that. How much is it?
It's what? Through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Food?
Yes, 2100 food versus 900. And he's killing them too. But what this should mean is Squash should have more Hersier number, age up faster. Honestly, he could probably get up. No, he couldn't get up to Mythic with this, but definitely Heroic easily, just off of this. And Mechanics is going to have a tough time. Now, Player is grabbing a second town center and actually went Athena.
Yeah, Matrius on Uranos, which is not his main god as well, so it'd be interesting to see how he plays this.
The
Good
Athena choice, yeah.
Getting the minnow out of the way is never terrible.
Yeah, the Athena choice is a little bit odd. Especially with this hunt being forward, but I guess he's got on it enough that he maybe can get off of it. Yeah, he could. I don't know. I can see the benefit of a really good restoration, but Centaurs and Ceasefire is really hard to pass away or turn down on this map. Really hard. So yeah, F2 should be taking the early advantage. The Uranos should be able to push the Hades into the base, and then that's when they can start doing whatever raiding they want to do, being F2. And then that puts UCA in a pretty tough spot, because then they have the decision: do they have to stay back and defend? In which case F2 gets full run of the map. Or does UCA go forward and raid anyway, and then risk getting a bunch of units caught out? Got a little bit of raid here, slipping through this really little crack on the edge of our world here. Yes, the world is flat.
Should Matrius be raiding Player here, or should he be trying to go directly to squash his Loki?
You go for you try to find a Loki hunt. That's so much more value, and he's going to get it. Which this is the way that you can undo the map imbalance, so to speak. And yes, Achilles, this is a best of 5. So if he can pick off a few units here, that'll be really big, and maybe even force him off of hunt altogether.
All right, that's.
Do you
really
shockwave
well
this?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Any Loki Huntville you can.
Yes, you do shockwave it. It was a little slow,
wow.
I would say.
I'd say picking off 4 of the. If he gets one more.
Yeah, it's only one more. The earlier you use shockwave, the more advantage you get. And now, so yeah, that'll even things up there, for sure. See a big fight here. Little shockwave on the random Matrius Terma. Not a ton of value off of that shockwave either. And we've got Domentas.
Mechanics took a lot of damage there, though, fighting into the 2 versus 1.
Alright, and now we've got the gold mine, which is only 500 gold left, so not too bad. But yeah, Terma against Hersier is not the matchup you want. And a couple more Hersier getting picked off over here. We've got just a few units from red showing up, and those should get picked off pretty quickly as well. Uh-oh. Some little weird pathing there. And it looks like they're going to push F2 away. I don't know.
What is Player's army compared to Demontis's? You've literally
Just
got one hop versus...
A few Hippocons defending here. The Hippocon are nice here against the Terma as well. And oh, this is kind of, yeah, a little bit of some bad military management here. Losing a lot of hit points on these Hersier. Yeah, losing a few. That's not good. He kept them in too long with the Valkyrie. Oh, he could have got that gold miners. Oh. Mechanics is gambling that somehow they won't see
Sentinel's
it.
been used yet?
Yes.
Where? On his main TC?
Yep. Oh, this is a pretty big raid here.
Sentinel's on that back TC would
Yeah.
be mighty good at
Get
the
the axe
moment.
cart. Get the axe cart on the way out. Oh, not the dwarves now. Ah, he could have picked off the ox cart here. Few Herseers raiding. They're so low. Oh no, these are defending. Defending Herseer. We're back in the gold or the hunt back here. Squash is using.
Look at how tilted the map is, though. There's just no pressure even outside of the bases of UCA. They're pinned completely in all 3 bases at the moment.
All right, there we go. So this is really well done by Gold Lion here, actually, where he distracts with the first main raiding group, and then the second smaller one comes in. And this is a lot of units with not a lot to defend here. And yeah, you'll lose, as Gold Lion, you'll lose some units underneath the town center, but the idle
Mechanics
time
is
is
gold
worth
is
it.
in that TC.
Yes.
It's not just
Yeah, you
Democracies.
you sit on this.
Idle. There's 12 dwarves from Mechanics that are falling behind.
Yeah, you just sit right here if you're Gold Lion. Because you are doing so much damage with this raid. This is huge damage. And yeah, the few units trickling in can't quite defend this either. Maybe now with all the Herseer and the Hippocon Hoplite heroes show up at the same time.
Could they have walled that off? I know it would have been hard to hold the wall, but would it have
Yeah.
slowed them down? It's just,
Yeah, they
they're
should've.
getting absolutely pummeled back there. And
Yeah, should have walled it. You got this walled off, but just ignored right here. Or yeah, you wall from probably here to here. Yeah, that's a big
where did
raid.
things go wrong for UCA? Again, look at how tilted the map is.
It's the Aranos into the Hades, and
Instead of the
unfortunately, Matrius really hasn't done, other than that raid on the hunt up here, he's been pretty defensive, and I probably didn't need to be. I guess he was forced to defend here. But that's kind of the difference, is just the difference really in the Atlantean pressure.
So we're saying Gold Lion is just outplaying everyone? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'd say so. Gold Lion definitely is doing better than his Atlantean counterpart in this game. Gold Lion has a pretty solid Aranos. I like his Aranos a lot more than his Ra.
I totally agree. His Raw does drive me crazy at times. So, meanwhile, this Aranos is just
this
absolutely
Aranos
top
is good.
tier in
He's
terms
at
of the multi-pressure
3 town
attacks,
centers,
like you said.
3 town centers, full pressure in the back. Now we got. I don't know if Squash should come here. I feel like the better spot is to come here. I don't know why you would come at the Greek, unless maybe it's just to be a little bit of mind games and get Mechanics to show up over here to defend.
I think
And
Squash is generally pretty good about his flaming weapons timing, so like you just hinted at, it wouldn't surprise
oh
me
man,
if
and look at this.
he did a fake to get the people out of position.
Look at
so
this.
He could then switch sides.
We've got
Is he
Matrius
spy-
all
is
the
he
way down
spy,
here
though?
too. Huh?
Is Squash
He is
Is
spied.
Squash spied? Yeah,
He is
because you see
spied.
Matrius retreating immediately, like he knows something's about to go down.
The Herseer probably. This is again where you probably should break off, because you can see how fast these units catch up because he's not taking full advantage. Like these Herseer could have been on this town center before any of these units came to defend.
Squash likes to go heavy bores before flaming weapons, which I don't know if I fully love that sometimes, because it limits his hero numbers for the flaming weapons to take effect.
Yeah.
Especially with flaming weapons getting you all the free myth units, I almost like 1 or 2 bores to tank the TC fire and then get the rest of your bores for free off the flaming weapons.
This gold mine is just not meant to be. It's not meant to be at all. Wow. Now here comes the battle boar. I don't know if this is where you want to attack still, though. I still think you just get out of here. And I mean, what he's doing though is Squash and Gold Lion are keeping all three of UCA busy, which is giving player time to do whatever he wants.
Player and Gold Lion are both 3 TCs and just out booming.
Right. And
F2.
there's flaming weapons used by mechanics. I think he was worried about a Fimbulwinter flaming weapons from Squash.
Mechanics doesn't have the eco to remake his army, so Squash flaming weapons fimbled and then prevented Mechanics from casting his
He'd have
flaming
to
weapons,
retreat.
and then just killed Mechanics' army. There's no second army that Mechanics has the eco to make, so he kind of had to have flaming weapons there.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so far behind. I mean, the score line looks kind of even, but they're pretty substantially behind. Gold Lion is like, we've got the meeting of... Gold Lion's in a little dangerous spot here because of the flaming weapons. Okay, not bad, but oh yeah, we got a nice little pinch here. And a restoration, probably a little bit premature. And now we have flaming weapons from Squash. I imagine we're gonna have to see, yep, here comes Fimbulwinter on the back end. Really, this went about as good for UCA as
does
it
have
could.
all 3 players there, which is generally an advantage.
This is as good as it could have gone for UCA, this exchange here. Because I think they might end up holding mostly here. The Tournament don't do a whole lot now. They should probably just get back. All they're going to do is just feed into the Loki favor pool. But defended decently. But
Love Gold Lion actually taking the 4th TC.
oh wow, we've got also an Underworld here. And now we've got a Vortex from Mantrius. Should have Vortex on top of the Underworld to kill it right away. He may not kill it depending on what's going to come through the Underworld on the other side. Not a whole lot. Yeah, you got the Hika Gigantes just soloing. Oh, Bellerophon is a little bit out of position here. He's attacking the farm. Bellerophon on the Hika Gigantes could have saved this Underworld. Because the Hika does so much damage. So the Underworld is dealt with. But we also had a Vortex by Gold Lion over here onto Mantrius, whose army is down here. So Mantrius is definitely taking the losing end of that.
All this offensive pressure is just doing massive eco damage to
Right.
already behind
Over and
UCA.
over.
So even if they can defend, their economy is just falling further and further
Right.
behind with the game. So
We have a Nidhogg and into Resign. So that was kind of a master class there, really, by F2 with the aggression, just keeping the foot on the pedal and never letting UCA calm down to the point where they were even remotely close to solidifying or anything like that.
Shocking how much the map was tilted to one side versus the other in what was essentially a mirror matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, outside of those 3 Matrius Bill kills on Squash to start the game, I don't think UCA had a single offensive raid in the whole 10 minutes after that.
The hunt does make a pretty big difference, and you'd like to see what the game would have been like if, say, Mechanics Hunt was also back. But yeah, F2 played this game really well, and it's a lot of the difference was just
Gold Lion
versus Gold Lion versus Mantrius was considerably different. This
Gold
game,
Lion also tilted the Loki mirror. Gold Lion came in with the early double on Mechanics and killed like half the HP on Mechanics heroes, which kind of tilted the Loki matchup into Squash's favor after that.
All right, let's move on to game 4 though before it gets too late. Yes, this games were played on a couple days ago. Ozone. I haven't watched the games yet, so that's why I'm doing them. All right, game number 4. Is this my one of my favorite team game maps? It is Frozen Wastes. This is a nice team game to see, a team map to see in this team tournament. Might be the first time we've seen Frozen Wastes this entire tournament. Maybe some early group stage games had this, but Frozen Wastes is a fantastic team map. It is it I Kill You Die time. Nope. What do we got though for players? In gods, we've got F2 player as Zeus. Got a gold line as Uranus, and we got Loki. So F2 is gonna play this the same way they played the previous game. Mechanics is Loki. Matreus is Poseidon, not Uranus. And Domintas is Uranus. So they switched. So Domintas and Matreus had a meeting of the minds and decided, Matreus, your Uranus last game stunk. I'm going to give a shot at it. This is an important game because UCA loses, they're out of the tournament. F2 wins, and they meet up with DOD in the finals. We need Redo in this tournament. As much as Redo used to smurf, he might be playing on both teams in this game. Could be. But I imagine this game will start off and run pretty.
Are we just gonna see a repeat
similarly.
of last game where F2 just absolutely dominated the aggression game?
Maybe.
What does UCA have to do this time to shift?
I mean, play better. Hope that they don't get screwed by the map. Which in this Frozen Wastes, I mean, the hunt always spawns forward, so that's not going to be different at all. The problem is on that Savannah game there, the Hades. I don't know if it's a good pick. Similarly on this map, I don't know if Hades is what you want either. Max Train is.
They didn't do Hades on this map though.
Shelty. No, they did not. They have a Poseidon. I like Poseidon.
So we had Zeus versus Hades last time. Now we've got Poseidon versus Zeus. Would you rather have the Zeus or the Poseidon?
I think they're kind of interchangeable. They both have different benefits to them. The Poseidon is nice because the lure is actually pretty helpful here, and also the mass Hippocon really do well here. So the Poseidon Civ bonus as far as the cavalry is definitely really helpful. The hoplites here, I've seen some mass hoplite strats. I think it's a little bit risky. So Zeus doesn't quite get as good benefit from the hoplites, but certainly the late game myth unit spam from Zeus is pretty scary, especially if you go Hephaestus with a bunch of Colossus. So either is good. I think Bellerophon is good. I mean, you almost would maybe rather have Poseidon than Zeus.
Alright, so if you want Poseidon, what's the Poseidon supposed to do upon hitting classical? Where does he pressure from the pocket? Does he 2TC? Does he 1TC? Where does he go with his early pressure?
It's too risky to 2TC, though this town center is really juicy. But the risk you run if you 2 town center is your allies getting pushed off of hunt. And then your town center isn't worth it. So it's kind of a risk reward where if you grab a 2 town center and you're able to get that advantage without your teammates losing, it's really strong. It kind of depends on what player does. He's going up Athena, which if I see Athena as the Poseidon, I don't grab a town center. because
Who do you
Athena.
attack? Are you gonna try to knock the Zeus off his hunt, the Atlantean off their hunt, or do you
You go after the
go
Loki.
right? You go for the Loki's
Go to
hunt.
the
is
Loki.
play.
You almost go Loki every single game. So players going for the hoplite spam. This can work great, or it can be like hoplite spam True Loke style that just crashes and burns. It's fun when it works. It looks awful when it doesn't. Hoplites do well into Hippocon. So here's where Matrius, if he grabs a town center, I think UCA is pretty well screwed. And there is a ton of temptation to grab this town center because of the walrus. But if he grabs that town center, his teammates will probably be in a world of hurt.
Interesting that Squash went straight for Matrius, kind of almost detecting that his hunt would be weak and exposed as opposed to Mex, which would be guarded by his own heroes. So,
Okay, he's
knocking
not.
Matrius off a hunt.
Making-
Early talks.
It's because of the hoplites. Now you don't want to lose
making
your
early talks into an opposing Atlantean, though.
right. Your hope is that you don't meet the Atlantean. Your hope is that you defend against the Greek player. Though he's got a little bit of watch out. He's got enough units here. There's just a centaur that's almost dead.
So players almost baiting him in. Like Matrius is the player hunting in front of his base and is gonna try to go for the pressure to knock player off his hunt instead of harassing the Loki with hips.
Three military buildings and 2 of them are sitting idle for a bit there. What's going on up here? We just got Loki doing Loki things and Loki doing Loki things. This is scary though over here on this top half of the map. I mean, one player starts getting.
Where is Squash
losing.
hunting? It's completely exposed, right?
Yep.
If Squash.
Yeah, that's
Blue
a
hunt.
dangerous
hunt.
spot.
Blue
Look
hunt.
out! Look out!
No, I'm talking about blue, not teal.
It's right here.
Squash hunt is exposed too.
It's gonna be. It's frozen waste.
It would be nice if some hips were to show up, is what I'm suggesting.
The hips are coming down here. The hips are coming to the middle.
Hips are coming into the Murmelo and the hops.
Yes, correct. Maybe shouldn't be. Probably shouldn't be.
I mean, how do they even attack into that though?
They don't.
The
You
hips
shouldn't.
don't trade. You can't beat hop Murmelo.
No.
Turma with hip.
No. No, I'm with you. The pressure here, the pressure from Matrius should not be coming here. It should be coming
There's
at the
no
Loki.
raids. There's no map control. They're just sitting around surrounding an army that they can't even attack into.
Right.
'Cause you
So
also have the resto. Even if you try to attack into it, they're just gonna resto it and they're gonna win.
yes, the hops should have or not the hops. The Hippocon should have come at the Loki. Because otherwise here you just stalemate. And I
Montes
mean,
is also useless. In a 1v1, he'd be picking off hops left and right with his mobility advantage, but when there's an opposing Atlantean army there that can zone you out, he's not even getting trades against the hops, so players just building up a massive death ball worth of hops here.
oh, can't get too far away though. You got to stay on your hunt here. As long as F2 just sits here, they should be okay. A little bit here. We've got
Squash is so exposed and greedy too.
Yeah.
Like if there was just any sort of double that came into Squash's way, and it's
oh man, Hippocon are so expensive too. Poor Minotaur. Yeah, and the hoplites even trade really well into the Murmelo Turma spam. Like really, there isn't a unit here that beats the hoplites. And the really good thing for F2 is that player can at any moment just decide, you know what, I'm done hunting here. I'm gonna go attack Mechanic's base and flatten it with my hoplites, and that looks like that's what he's doing.
play
So
the
what?
game much and know what's gonna go on.
What's that?
I'm laughing at you accurately predicting it ahead of time, right as it happens.
And this works as long as player doesn't get caught out here, which the Hippocon there's room here, but they're see they don't know where the hoplites went. So they don't know that they can come in and push. And now here comes player. Yep, he knows. He's like, all right, my army's up. I'm out. We have the meeting of the minds here.
Bit of a misplay by Squash, considering
needs to
the
come
high
back.
probability that he
Come back.
The fact that he spied just gave the hop push away.
It doesn't matter. It's too late. They can't stop this. They're out of position now.
You blow a seize? You have to blow a seize?
You have
Did
to.
you get his tower ups immediately?
Both, but you have to use a ceasefire. I don't know why Squash was so far away on what he's doing. He needs to come up here and help. Get in on the restoration. Because your goal here is to kill the town center before the mythic or the heroic
really
age.
Zero reason for Squash to be that far behind the obvious hop push. It's not like
So you trade a restoration for a ceasefire here. You might what they're trying to do is wait until the ceasefire comes out first. Yep. Because the town center was going to go down.
They're getting a free resto from that healing spring during the ceasefire.
Yes. And yeah, this does hurt player a little bit long term because he's not hunting now, when if he would have stayed defensive, he could have. But this is big for blowing the ceasefire without having to use a god power. And now they've got. I mean, now your damage is done here. You get out. The hoplite should probably be running out of here. Because they are at its point where they could get surrounded, maybe? I mean, I guess you still do have Squash here with just a massive army who's almost up as well. And maybe you do just stay here. I mean, you know the gold's up here, and you now have a restoration that you can use during a big flaming weapons attack.
What does Matrius have in the middle of the map there?
Hippogon doing nothing.
What? What are we watching? What is he doing?
Well, he's watching their tournament hopes go up in flames. Because Mechanics just lost all of his gold miners. They probably didn't even really need to use flaming weapons there. Because now you're going to have some timing here where the flaming weapons isn't going to get any use. Push through, you can still actually ram the town center down quickly.
Demontis is here, but Gold Lion's at Demontis' base at the moment.
Yeah, raiding all over the place. And now we have the counter flaming weapons, but getting the town center down is so worth it. There's the restoration, there's the curse. But the town center will go down. Player will lose his army. That's okay. Squash can run out of here. And the damage to Mechanics. I mean, Mechanics is out of the game. And wow, we've got player down on this town center too. Really well done. This is what I mean. I mean the hoplite spam.
Oh look, it's Matrius' hippos that have been doing nothing for the past 3 minutes.
Yeah, the hoplite spam can work really great when it works, and it works here. Worked in this situation. Mechanics, I don't think has a ox cart anywhere.
Yeah, they just sniped it. Good play by Squash there to snipe the ox.
These dudes are standing around like, what do we do now? What are we gonna do? And this was these two open maps were.
You got 2 players on 0 TCs 13 minutes into the game.
Just a beatdown here. Just a beatdown. It's really cool in like this situation to see how just the strategies can just so heavily affect the game to where it's not really even like skill, so to speak. I mean, there's a lot of macro and stuff that
it's
that
decision making,
but it's just a decision.
Matrices started the game 100% decided the game beyond any type of skill involved.
Right. He could have played out of his mind with micro, and it wouldn't have mattered because strategically they just
He
got
went
so
hip
outplayed.
tox pressure into hop
Uh-oh.
Atlantean army, and that just is not going to win. He needed to Boyd had this build and carried us in one matchup against PXX and Gabu. I think it was in RTSL 2 years ago, where you put 2 Vills on favor and get the cav speed upgrade as soon as possible, and then you have the high speed hips out on the map early to go harass the Loki's food and knock him off food.
Yeah,
And if Atreus had done the speedy hips and doubled the Loki, that tipped the Loki matchup in Mechanics' favor. Meanwhile, Damontis would have been absolutely fine. Player wasn't going to kill him or do any serious damage with hop rates early in the game. Atreus could hit the squash food vills before player was ever a threat in this game, but instead he went pressure into them.
They're coming back. Yeah, Ragnarok says Posse is useless here. I don't think Posse is useless here. Posse is useless, or Poseidon is useless in the way that he was used here. What you can do with Poseidon here is you get on the Loki with your speedy Hippocon, and then you one town center into Mythic and Earthquake the base.
He could have tilted the Loki matchup, and instead went for like a hip tox aggro play into an unwinnable battle.
Yeah, now we've got we got the giants fighting the wolves and the hoplites killing the town center, and that's not good. Oof.
The way the series just tilted, I thought UCA clearly outplayed the first 2 games quite heavily in the boom style games, but the second we switched over to these 2 aggro maps, F2 just absolutely handed it to them.
Yeah, see, here's the Earthquake. It's just late, and now we've got town centers grabbed. Yeah, you are right, Ragnarox, is that you won't win 2v2s, but that's the whole point of having the Hippocon and being able to hopefully dictate where the game gets played, because you have more mobility than the hoplites. Is that okay? There's an Earthquake on an Underworld.
You use the Posey to double the Loki is the key.
Right.
Which they didn't do.
Right. And that is the good game. So F2 to the finals. UCA goes home. You're right, Ragnarox. There is that danger of the hoplites just running in on a base, but there's room here for the Poseidon.
There's a window for the Poseidon to impact the game sooner than the hop rates into the base.
Yes. The hops are scary when they get massed, to the point they're showing up at your town center. But before that, the Hippocon have the chance of swaying the game. But yeah, well played by F2. These second 2 games for sure. They kind of maybe got a cheap win in game 1.
I wanted to see a game 5. I went into the OB Discord after that first game and was raging about that wonder, because I think we should have had a 5-game series. What was the 5th map going to be? Any idea?
I could look it up. I'm not sure, but yeah. The hoplites, I think. See, I just think that there's room. You push the Loki off of Hunt.
Erebus. Is that a boom map or a Russian map?
The lava pits could actually make it a little bit more defensive. The Uranos here, I mean, what would you trade it with, though? Do you have a third or a second Greek on this map? I don't know if 2 Greek on this map is good. Because the Uranos is strong. I mean, Damontis?
I don't have an issue with either comp here. I think, just like we said, the way it was played was the wrong approach to playing it in this situation, and it ultimately cost him the game more so than any skill.
I mean, the Savannah game, Atreus' Uranos was pretty, I don't want to say bad because mine is worse, but it wasn't up to level to where it needed to be. Here, I think it looks like Damontis did okay. At least economically, he's in a good spot. I don't have a problem with it. It looks like he was basically with Gold Lion, really.
He needed to put more pressure. He kind of just sat around camping players' villas, hoping that they'd knock player off of food, but they were never going to knock player off food given the army comps and the restoration available. So he probably would have been better off splitting his army and raiding more, and he never really raided. He just had all his army together in one group and was sitting there hoping to knock player off food and never could. So he kind of just sat around for most of the game, unfortunately.
Yeah. Thanks, Achilles, for watching. Appreciate it. You take care now. Because you see the armies here. The army counts, population is pretty much the same, but F2 dictates because they're the first to launch the attack, and then from there on out, F2 just dictates the course of the game. So yeah, there's
Gold Lion Serranos was kind of the difference maker in the series a little bit towards the end.
I don't know if this game. I mean, he did well this game, but the Savannah game is Serranos is really good. Did really well. Yeah, there's just. I mean, it's all hypotheticals, but there's room here for the Poseidon to work.
If the Poseidon went straight speedy hips and hit Squash's food, I just wonder how much different the game would have been.
We'll never know. We'll never know. But yeah, good series, good games. Never an extra town center grad. At one point, they're at one town center.
Say that's as unique of a TC map as you're going to see in this high level of a game.
Well, the thing is, though, Ragnaroks, if you want to be the best team, you can't have a map that you struggle on, or a map style that you struggle on. I mean, I guess you can if you get lucky and get all the maps that benefit you. But certainly I would say like F2 is more well-rounded overall. Like probably F2 is weaker on the closed maps.
Like we said, Gold Lion, Tyrannos, yay. Gold Lions, raw, nay, and we saw the difference here.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Yeah, Gold Lion, I'm not here to... My mom, the old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. But there was one person that when me and Blackadder were managing RTS League, there was one person that was close to getting a permanent ban, not for cheating, just for attitude. And maybe somebody in this game. Just saying. Just saying. Because there's no space for it. No space for that. You know, we'll move on. Well played F2. Well played F2. They did well there. We'll give them their third win here real quick. 11:22. I go to bed.
In those two games. Completely tilted the map in those last two games.
Yeah, they
generally
really
only
well
see
there.
when there's the pretty big skill difference to tilt the map that badly.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, Bob, not a fan, but let's not dwell on the negatives. I played a lot of sports growing up in college, coached some teams in college, like intramural stuff, and you know, if a player was bad but had a good attitude, player was a good and had a bad attitude, much rather just have fun. I'd rather have fun and lose than have no fun because my teammates' attitudes stink and win. Good night and thanks for the stream. Thank you. The Dennis Rodman of AMT. Was Dennis Rodman that? Is he really that bad though? Maybe he was. See, I didn't pay attention to basketball. Really.
The last 30 years, Rodman stands out for his craziness still to this day.
But it seems like he's more of just crazy. Like, is he really a cancer? I don't know. I wasn't into basketball enough to really know. Um, what sport did I play? My best sport is softball, which some would say maybe isn't a sport, but that's my best sport. And then flag football. Well, flag I might be better at flag football because I was faster than everybody else. Um, Played soccer. I wish I had played soccer growing up because again, in soccer I was faster than everybody else, but the ball skill was I'd kick the ball, but where it went after the kick was sometimes you never knew. Um, Played intramural volleyball. Our team stunk. A little bit of they call it broom hockey. I don't know if it is called elsewhere. It's hockey without ice skates, with not a stick, but more of I don't know how to describe it, but more like a kind of like a broom, but a really small one to where like the bottom of the broom is like this wide, like 3 inches wide. So you hit the ball with that. It was a lot of fun. Um, but anyway, it's 11:30. I must go to bed. Um, there's a question is where is 7 Up? Who yes, founded F2 and kind of disappeared. Just life, I guess. Life, don't know. But anyway, Ryfang, thanks for joining me with the games here. Would have liked to seen a game 5. Very few game 5s in this tournament, actually.
I like this series because of the difference in styles, seeing
Yeah.
the series just completely tilt from UCA dominance, the first two boomy style games, to then F2 taking it to them in the aggression
Yeah.
maps was kind of a reminder of the different skills that players have. And
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Ryfang, and of course all the fine viewers who keep this fun and entertaining and positive. Appreciate all of you um, tuning in and keeping me company. I like it. Sir Tak rated me with 12 viewers. Appreciate that. And Sako-san and Alpu4 both followed, and Raptor AOM and Cuddy Danks with their generous subscriptions, both at 18 months. I haven't seen Hannibal bark in a while. Hope he's doing okay. But anyway, who are we rating? Is there someone to rate? Let's see. There's nobody to rate. So I don't know. There's no AOM players. I guess that's it. So, all right, everybody, take care. Have a good night. Catch y'all another time. So, toodaloo.